Under the hood is a 2-liter turbo diesel engine with 178 horsepower. It features a simplified autopilot, lane keeping and cruise control, meaning it maintains speed and stays in the lane.
Motorhomes used to be simple. A bed, a small kitchen, a bathroom, and enough space to survive a road trip. But now, some of them are turning into full luxury mansions. China has built motorhomes with second floors, glass rooms, balconies, and even a working elevator. And around the world, other companies are building RVs that rotate open, drive into lakes, carry supercars, and expand into homes bigger than some apartments. So how did the motorhome go from a camping vehicle to one of the most ridiculous luxury machines on the planet? The wildest place to start is China's SAIC Maxus Life Home V90 Villa Edition, because this is the motorhome that looks like someone tried to build a small villa on top of a van. When it is driving, it does not look completely impossible. It looks like a premium Chinese motorhome with a tall body and a clean design. But when it parks, the whole vehicle begins to change shape. The side walls extend outward, the roof rises upward, then a second floor appears on top of the vehicle, turning the RV from a single-level camper into something much closer to a tiny 2-story house. MotorTrend described it as a China-built Maxus with slide-out walls, a powered pop-up extension, 215 square feet of living space on the ground floor, and another 133 square feet in the rooftop sunroom. That means the living area is not just wider when parked, it also grows upward, which is something most motorhomes never even attempt. The upstairs room is the part that makes it feel unreal. It has glass around it, so the space becomes an elevated viewing room instead of a cramped sleeping loft. Car and Driver described the vehicle as having a tea room, an outdoor deck, and an elevator to reach the upper level. That last feature is what separates it from almost every RV people have seen before. A motorhome with stairs would already be strange. This one has an elevator. The ground floor still has the normal things a luxury RV needs: seating, a kitchenette, a bathroom, a shower area, and a sleeping space above the cab. But the second floor changes the whole feeling of the vehicle. It is no longer only about sleeping inside a camper. It is about parking somewhere beautiful, rising above the ground, and looking out from a glass room like you are inside a tiny vacation home. The price was reported around 2.68 million yuan, or about $413,000 at the time it was covered. That is a lot of money, but it is far below the multi-million-dollar RVs built in Europe and the United States. That price difference is one reason this Chinese motorhome got so much attention. It was not cheap, but for an RV with a second floor, a balcony, and a working elevator, it felt shocking. China is not only making motorhomes more luxurious, it is making them expand, rise, and behave more like buildings. And once one Chinese motorhome turns into a 2-story villa, the next question is whether that was just one crazy design or part of a bigger push. The next example is the Deddle Carbonic Liner 7.8, another Chinese luxury motorhome that shows a different side of the same trend. This one does not grow a second floor. It is not trying to shock people with an elevator. Its wow factor comes from materials, size, and the way Chinese RV companies are trying to compete directly with Europe's premium motorhome market. Deddle RV is a Chinese motorhome company, and the Carbonic Liner 7.8 was shown at Caravan Salon Düsseldorf in 2024, one of the most important RV shows in the world. That detail matters because Düsseldorf is where many European companies show their best work. For a Chinese company to bring a high-end motorhome there is basically a statement that it wants to compete in the same room as the brands that have dominated this market for decades. The Carbonic Liner 7.8 is based on the Iveco Daily, and Motor One reported that it measures 7.8 meters long. The interior is built around genuine leather seating, high-quality woodwork, and a spacious bathroom with a separate shower. It also has driver assistance features like adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, and a reversing camera. The most important part is the carbon fiber version. Reports from the show described a GRP version and a more expensive carbon fiber version, with the top version priced around 477,000 euros. We should be careful here, because sources describe the carbon fiber use differently, and it is safer to say that carbon fiber is a major part of the premium version rather than claim every hidden piece of the body is carbon fiber. But even with that careful wording, The point is clear. Deddle is not trying to win only on price. It is trying to show that a Chinese-built motorhome can enter the luxury conversation with advanced materials, premium interiors, and European market ambition. That is what makes this example useful after the V90 Villa edition. The SAIC Maxus shocks you with transformation. The Deddle Carbonic Liner shows that Chinese companies are also going after craftsmanship, materials, and high-end RV buyers who might normally look toward European brands. One Chinese RV grows into a mansion. Another tries to compete with the best luxury motorhomes in Europe. That is when the trend starts looking bigger than one viral vehicle. The next vehicle is not Chinese, and it is technically a caravan instead of a motorhome. But it belongs in this story because it shows how far designers are pushing the idea of a moving home. It is called the Romotow T8, and its entire trick is built around rotation. When it is being towed down the road, the Romotow looks like a sleek modern trailer with a smooth shell. But when it reaches a campsite, the main cabin rotates out from the chassis. New Atlas reported that the T8 starts at 429,000 New Zealand dollars, or about 268,500 US dollars at the time, and that its closing system can bring the trailer back together in less than a minute. The simplest way to picture it is like a room that swings open. Instead of only sliding a wall out a few feet, the Romotow rotates its living space to create an L-shaped layout with a covered deck. Suddenly, the camper is not only a box on wheels, it becomes an indoor-outdoor living space with a real patio-like area. That is why this one feels different from a normal luxury RV. It is not just adding marble, leather, or a bigger television. It changes the shape of the living space. It treats the campsite like part of the design. When it opens, the outside is no longer separate from the RV. It becomes part of the room. That is the same larger idea we saw in the Chinese motorhomes, even though the design is very different. The future of luxury RVs may not only be about making them more expensive, it may be about making them transform. The V90 rises upward, the Romotow rotates outward. Both are trying to solve the same basic problem. A vehicle is narrow on the road, but people want a real home when it parks. And if rotation is one answer, the next motorhome takes the idea even further by leaving the road completely. The Terra Wind is one of the strangest RVs ever built because it is not only a motorhome, it is also an amphibious vehicle. It was built by Cool Amphibious Manufacturers International, and Car and Driver covered it back in 2004. The idea sounds impossible at first. You drive the RV on the road, reach a boat ramp, and then drive it into the water. Once it floats, it can move like a boat using propellers and rudders. Car and Driver reported that the Terra Wind was street legal in all states, used bronze propellers and stainless rudders, and had a starting price of $850,000. The demo version they tested was fitted with enough high-end features to reach about $1.2 million. It also had granite countertops, marble tile floors, teak cabinets, a washer and dryer, a dishwasher, and even a full-size jacuzzi and shower combination with 8 massage jets. That is the kind of feature list that would already be wild in a normal luxury RV. The fact that it can also float makes it feel like 2 rich person toys fused into one. The Terra Wind is not fast on water. Car and Driver reported a top speed of about 8 knots, which means it was built more for comfort than performance. But speed is not the point. The point is that the vehicle removes the line between road trip and boat trip. You do not tow a boat, you become the boat. This one is useful for the list because it shows how luxury motorhomes started breaking the old definition of an RV long before the current wave of futuristic designs. Some companies went upward with second floors, some went outward with rotating rooms. Terra Wind went straight into the water. That is when you begin to see the pattern. The most extreme RVs are no longer trying to be better campers. They are trying to become whatever their owners wish they had brought with them. For some people, that is a boat. For others, it is a supercar. The Volkner Mobile Performance S is one of the clearest examples of luxury RVs becoming completely absurd, because its most famous feature is a central garage that can carry a car underneath the living area. Volkner's official site says the Performance S is 12 meters long and uses a patented central garage. The company says the garage can carry a 4-seater car, and in larger performance models, it can take a car up to 4.62 meters long. Volkner also mentions custom solutions for vehicles like a Bugatti Chiron. or Ferrari LaFerrari. That is the kind of problem almost nobody on Earth has, but luxury products are often built around those tiny problems. If you own a supercar and want to travel across Europe in a luxury motorhome, you do not want to leave the car behind. Volkner's answer is to hide it in the motorhome itself. The way the garage works also adds to the wow factor. The platform can slide out and release the car, and once the car is unloaded, Volkner says the platform can be used as a terrace. That means the same space that carries a car can turn into an outdoor living area when the vehicle is parked. This is a different kind of mansion comparison. The SAIC Maxus 590 gives you a second floor. The Romotow gives you a rotating deck. Terra Wind gives you water access. Volkner gives you a luxury garage. The kind of thing a wealthy person would normally build into a real house. Motor One reported on a Performance S shown with a Bugatti Chiron and said the motorhome itself was around $2.4 million at the time. With the Bugatti included, the total package becomes far more expensive. But the exact number is less important than the idea. This RV is designed for someone whose travel problem is not finding a campsite. It is finding a safe place to bring a supercar. That is what makes the Performance S feel like a mansion on wheels. A mansion has a garage for expensive cars. Volkner built that idea into the body of a motorhome and made it move. And if the Volkner is built for the supercar owner, the next one was built for Hollywood. Anderson Mobile Estates built one of the most famous mobile mansions ever made, the double-decker trailer often called the Heat, which was used by Will Smith as a movie set trailer. The Drive reported that Smith spent about $2.5 million on the massive mobile home, and that it has around 1,200 square feet of space. That is not RV space anymore. That is the size of an actual house or apartment. The same report says it includes 14 televisions, a $200,000 kitchen, and a 30-person screening room. That screening room is what makes the Heat feel different from every other motorhome on this list. It was not mainly built for camping, tourism, or road trips. It was built as a luxury base for a movie star working on set. When the vehicle is parked, the top section can rise, turning it into a two-story structure. The Drive reported that the trailer sits on 22 wheels and uses 8 pistons to raise the top by 42 inches. That sounds like something from a stage production, because in a way, it is. The whole vehicle is designed to make life on a film set feel less like waiting around in a trailer and more like living inside a private mobile mansion. Today, the Drive reported that it can be rented from Anderson Mobile Estates for $9,000 per night. That tells you what category it belongs to. This is not transportation for normal people. It is an event, a status symbol, and a temporary luxury house that can be moved where the client needs it. This example also helps explain why the Chinese designs feel so interesting. For years, America and Europe owned the imagination around the most extreme RVs Hollywood trailers, supercar garages, amphibious motorhomes, and rotating caravans all pushed the category in different directions. But China's SAIC Maxus V90 Villa Edition entered that conversation with one of the simplest and strongest visual ideas of all, a motorhome that grows a second floor and gives you an elevator to reach it. That is the kind of feature anyone can understand in 1 second. The obvious question is whether any of this is practical. The honest answer is only partly. These vehicles are impressive because they push motorhomes into new territory, but the more they behave like mansions, the harder they become to use like normal vehicles. A luxury house can stay still. A motorhome has to handle highways, parking, weather, repairs, weight limits, and thousands of miles of vibration. That is why most of these machines will not become everyday RVs anytime soon. Some are limited builds. Some are made for specific markets. Some are so expensive that they work better as showcases than normal travel vehicles. But that does not make them pointless. Extreme designs often reveal where an industry wants to go next. And right now, China's most futuristic motorhomes are showing a future where RVs do not just get bigger or more expensive. They transform. Motorhomes used to be about camping, then they became rolling hotel rooms. Now, they are becoming luxury mansions that happen to drive.